Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of Hey Girl Hey with Amy.
And Bree.
So we already told you guys the format of this podcast. So we're going to start off with a little story time that's related to today's topic, which is ghosting. Okay. So here's a little story time. This story time is not mine, but it happened to a good friend of mine recently. So, we're all millennials. We do the online dating thing. And a friend of mine matched with a guy on Hinge about a month ago. And everything seemed to be going really well for a few days. And she kind of got bored of the conversation because she felt like she was kind of, I guess, guiding the conversation. And he would kind of just respond, but not ask questions back. So she kind of eventually fell back. And so a few days after that, he wrote her and he was like, hey, I thought our conversation was going really well. Is something wrong? And she just said essentially what I said, kind of feel like I'm dragging the conversation. You don't really seem to be as into it. And he was like, no, like I'm definitely interested, blah, blah, blah. They continue talking, things ramp up. He gets her phone number, and at this point, they've maybe been communicating for about 2 weeks. And he asked her out, and not for the upcoming weekend because he was going to be out of town for a bachelor party, but for the following weekend. And everything was good. In that time, they had several 3, 4, 5 hour phone conversations. Okay. When we ran it back, they had been on the phone for about 20 hours in that week. Right. So the date was, I know, right? So the date was set for Friday. And, the day was coming up. He would make little cute comments like, oh, you ready for Friday? You excited to see me? Blah, blah, blah. And it was cute because, they had really been clicking. And on Wednesday, they were speaking like normal. Everything was cool. And she sent him the last message. But on Thursday, he didn't contact her at all, like radio silence. Then, I said to her, some people don't feel the need to talk every day and you haven't even met him yet. Like, it's fine. So on Friday around 1 p.m., the day they were supposed to go out, she writes him and she's like, hey, happy Friday. And she doesn't hear anything the whole day. And they had never set a time to go, but they planned to go bowling someplace in Midtown. So, if you're going out on a Friday, you have a job, you probably won't be free until 7 or 8, right? So 7 o'clock passes, 8 o'clock passes, 9 o'clock passes, and I'm talking to her and I'm like, that's really fucked up. Like, you've been talking to this man for a month and he just didn't hit you up. And she said, yeah, it's definitely fucked up. I'm planning to write him like a final type text. Now, when I was younger, I was definitely like the combative, rah rah, like call you out type person in dating. But as I get older, I'm not going to say shit to you. You know what you're doing. You know you're fucked up. But, everyone's different. So she wrote him and she said, hey, I was really looking forward to going out with you, but, I guess it didn't happen. That's too bad. This man writes her back like 10 minutes later. So he had his phone over the past few days. He saw the Happy Friday message, writes her back, and he's like, hey, I've been dealing with a personal matter since Thursday, aka yesterday. And, my attention has really been on this personal matter, so I'm sorry. Again, I'm sorry. And so she and I went back and forth, and I was like, well, it sounds to me like he's full of shit.
Exactly.
Like, he can't give you any details about this personal matter. He did not try to reschedule. He didn't, push it back. And he saw your Happy Friday message. He knows you had plans tonight. And I think he's full of shit. I would leave it where it's at. That to me sounds like a thanks but no thanks type message. Like, I'm not really into it.
Right.
But again, I had never spoken to him. And she said she didn't see it that way. She said to her, it seemed like a genuine message. And so I said, look, she was clearly still interested in talking to him. And I said, if you want to contact him, what's the best and worst case scenario? Best case scenario, you contact him. He really does have something going on. And I know this sounds extreme, but y'all hit it off. It works out and he becomes your husband.
Right.
Worst case scenario is he really did mean it as see ya and you never speak again. And you'll probably be over it in like a couple days because you never even met the man.
Right.
Well, the latter was what happened because he did not respond. And, like I predicted, she was over it in a couple of days. But that brings us to our topic for this week. Ghosting. Brianna, why do you think he did that? I'm really curious. Why do you think he did that?
Being a person that's had some roller coasters with online dating, I think that some people just don't know how to cut it off. And because they don't know how to cut it
off. Popular.
I thought I had my phone disturbed. Anyways, like I was saying, I think because people don't know how to cut it off, they just stop responding. And maybe they don't want to hurt the person's feelings, or maybe it's just not the right time, to be dating, or maybe they thought they liked this person. But one thing with online dating is you have so many people, like, when you on, the profile, like you're new to the site, all these people are like liking you, and it's like kind of overwhelming. So like, I had Hinge, and at one point I got on and I had 20 people in thing, and I'm like, what the, like, I can't keep up conversation with 20 people. And obviously you're gonna filter out those like who are interest to you. So, have the job or the education or no kids, whatever your preference is. But at the end of the day, it's hard to keep up a conversation. But speaking to somebody for 20 hours.
But that's what I said. I said to her, girl, you had 20 hours worth of conversation with this man in 1 week. And so first of all, on average, I like to break it down. That's about 3 hours a night.
Yeah.
If you spoke 7 nights of the week, which you did not, you spoke maybe about 4 or 5 nights. So you were speaking to this man for about 5 hours a night. And he pulled this shit?
Exactly.
That's crazy to me.
I can't.
It's crazy.
I don't even know if ghosting is like more common with men or women. I feel like everybody does it. Like it just,
they really do, and I hate it.
Online, you can meet them at a bar. You can meet them at the mall. And instead of them just being upfront and saying, I'm not interested anymore, or whatever the case, they could even lie, like,
right,
girlfriend.
Well, he lied, right?
I mean, he lied. We can't say that. We can't say that.
That's true.
You have to give people the benefit of the doubt a little bit, but the fact that he not hit her up said that he wasn't interested. Like, if his behavior,
but that's
that would have been like, oh, let's go out this day, or whatever, then okay, we could agree to disagree. But like, you haven't talked to me since.
That's what I find so troubling. Like, or not troubling, but just so confusing, because I've definitely been ghosted. I don't ghost people so much. Like, I have ghosted, but I'm usually good to just say like, hey, I don't think we're compatible. Best of luck in dating. That's like my go-to phrase. Best of luck in dating. I don't think we're a match, And I just don't understand how people can switch up like on Wednesday, you're so excited to see me. You planned the date, you picked a place, everything. And she even told me, like, he looked at his calendar in advance, like, oh, okay, this date I can do. Let's do this date. And then a day and a half later, or actually the next day, I don't hear shit.
It's the effort for me. Like, why are you making effort with somebody you don't even want to see?
That's what I'm saying. It's so confusing to me. And it's like, she even told me that they had a discussion about how a first date is so low stakes that you really don't have to do shit to be okay. Like, all you have to do is show up. There are no expectations. You don't know each other. She said they explicitly had this conversation.
And because they've been online, it's like, although they've had 20 hours of conversation, you don't truly know the person. So honestly, the first date is like my initial
meeting. It's like, that's the first impression.
Yeah, and you can fall in love with conversation. Like, I'm guilty of that. Like, oh my God, his conversation is so great.
I love it.
I'm talking to him. I can answer when he calls, and then I meet him, and then I'm like,
ew.
But I'm also woman enough to say, like, I really enjoy talking to you, but at this time, I don't think we're meant for each other, because you waste people's time.
Right.
To, like, go through all these works of planning and doing this. Oh, I really like you, but you really don't.
Right. I'm like, why would you even plan that? Why did you follow up when the conversation got dry? Why did you have these 20 hours of conversation? Why did you plan a date?
Right.
And talk about it like, oh yeah, you excited for Friday, blah, blah, blah. I'm very confused. I don't get it. Like, dating nowadays is so trash. It's so trash.
Literally.
Like, I definitely
emoji, like,
girl. And you know, I have some stories. Okay. I do. Even like the person I was dating most recently, like, that was a mess. Remember, I'll tell the podcast, whatever. I was dating this guy. I won't give too many details, but from the beginning, you know, there were like some, I'm not going to get too detailed, but, you know, there were a couple of things that I wasn't a fan of. Pretty much like inconsequential things, like really not important, but he was so sweet. He treated me so well. You know, our second date fell on my birthday. Well, it didn't fall on my birthday. He wanted to take me out for my birthday, and he did a great job for my birthday, right? And he was so expressive. He really, really was into me. No doubt in my mind. You know, we continued to date after my birthday. Things were good. And things started getting a little weird a few weeks ago. Because we had like a week of like bad communication. I knew he had some stuff going on with work. Like, he had told me in advance, but it was really bad communication. And then I kind of was thinking like, well, maybe he's really not that interested in me. And I was interested. Like, we were having, you know, a good time, but in retrospect, that was not the person for me. So after that, you know, we had a date planned after that week of bad communication, and he wrote me the morning of our date like, hey, like, my allergies have me fucked up. I'm going to have to reschedule. And I replied, and I was like, obviously I was irritated, but I was like, okay, no problem. Feel better. Let me know when you want to do something. And so that was a Saturday. I didn't hear from that man again until Friday. So I'm an overthinker. And for those first 2 days, I was overthinking like a mug. Okay? I was like, what's going on? First of all, when you told me your allergies got you fucked up, I'm like, really? Really? Your allergies have you that fucked up? But you know what? Like you said, give people the benefit of the doubt. And we had been dating for like a couple of months at that point, and he had given me no issues. Like, he was super sweet. He was very attentive. I will say the texting was some bullshit. Just to give y'all a little backstory.
From the beginning.
From jump, literally from day 2 of writing the app, he would take a day to get back to me. And it continued when we started texting. And I tried to cut him off. But once I tried to cut him off, he was like, no, please, like, breakfast, lunch, dinner, like, can we do such and such and such? And I was like, I haven't even had a conversation with you. And so after having a conversation with him, I was like, I don't tolerate that. I'm not cool with the taking a day. Like, I don't care what type of person you are. I'm not with it. And he improved until this week of bad communication, which I knew was due to work, right? So then he canceled the date. And for a couple days after the date cancellation, when I didn't hear shit from him. And so those first couple days, I'm like, okay, so he's ghosting me. Awesome. And I kind of ran through the same thoughts that my friend ran through with this guy who she was supposed to go bowling with. I was like, why would you plan a date just to cancel? We've been dating for months. Like, you were just telling me, literally, I'm so sprung, this and that, relationship, I want this with you, and blah, blah, blah. Why would you be saying all that? So I had those obsessive thoughts. I'm an overthinker, admittedly. Had those thoughts for a couple days. Then after that, I was like, well, fuck it. I guess I won't be hearing from him. It was nice while it lasted. And then I started thinking, like, this probably isn't what I need anyway. And then a couple days after that, I got a FaceTime with some stupidity. And pretty much he was saying he felt like I wasn't that interested because he would always be expressive and telling me he wants this with me and that and that and that. And I'd be like, yeah, yeah, I miss you too, whatever. And I'm not that type of person. You cannot make me go at your pace. So I realized he wasn't ghosting me. But at that point, pretty much the damage was already done. Like, you're not about to not talk to me for a week and then FaceTime me out of nowhere and try to, like, get shit back going. And then the following week, he had the nerve. We communicated. He asked me to be his girlfriend, essentially. And I'm like, okay, something's wrong up in here.
Like, one extreme to the next extreme. What are we doing?
Like,
you can't even do the bare minimum, and that's communicate. Why would I be your girlfriend, sir?
You know what, though? With each, I guess, like, failed little situationship that I have, I realize, like, what I can and cannot tolerate. Like, I never thought that I was going to have to specify, like, I need someone who, I guess, can go at a normal pace. Or I'm not going to say normal because everyone's different, but can go at a certain pace. Because you're not about to, like, first of all, he would sweat me, like, on it with the words and the actions. I'll say that. But when I didn't reciprocate, like, I need some time. So I'm realizing, like, I need someone who can, like, go at my pace and we can, like, maybe find a happy medium. Because I'm not about to be on you like that after a couple of months. I can't do it.
Yeah, that's very similar. Not necessarily that situation, but, like, the guy that I dated very briefly, and then he asked me to be his girlfriend like a week later. And I was like, I don't even know you. Like, you're cool. I've enjoyed spending time with you, but not only have you rubbed me the wrong way 2 times about, having a male best friend and hanging out with other males, you are kind of giving me, like, crazy vibes by asking me after knowing me for a week. And he was like, you only have one life, and I like you, and my heart's telling me your heart is not telling you shit because you don't.
It's definitely not.
And, like, not to say that I was talking to other people, but at the end of the day, I am not ready for that. I don't know you. It's one,
right?
Like, my last relationship was on and off for 10 years. You know what I mean? Like, I knew him from high school, but at the end of the day, it's like I'm not about to just dive straight in because I want to have a boyfriend. No, it doesn't work like that. And I just think, like, dating is just so.
It's pretty bad. And also at this point, like, when I was in my 20s, whatever, I'll date you, cool, I don't care. But now I'm 31 and it's like, okay, like, I'm not trying to even entertain you unless you're, like, potential husband father of my kids.
And be
So-
intentional. Like, I don't want you to be text
Right.
buddy. I don't need
No.
somebody to sit on the phone with me for 5-6 hours. I have a job. Like, I gotta go to
Girl, okay.
too. But
Yeah.
who's like consistent, like consistently communicate.
Mhm.
I consistently see them. Like, we're actually progressing towards something. And I just think men,
Mhm.
I guess women too, but people in general just lack those qualities because dating is such a game. Like, how many women can I
Absolutely.
date? Or like, I really like her, you know, she's a good catch, but I also got 5 other chicks over here. Or so I don't. And then by the time you lose interest, like you back off, then they're like, "What happened?" Or the
Yeah.
damage is done at this point. So let's just
Pretty much. I think that that's also why people ghost, because people ghost when they have other options or they have a backup or something. You're not going to get rid of one of your options just to be dating nobody.
right.
Like, you are going to ghost somebody when you have, you know, other potentials. Absolutely.
And somebody's
Absolutely.
always in the lead. Like, you might have 3 girls that you like, you know, you consistently see, hang out with, speak to. And I expect that with dating. Like, I don't expect you to just date me.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, there's always someone who's ahead. Like,
Mhm.
priority. Like, you're going to see
They're right.
probably more, you talk to her more, then you got the other ones
Yeah.
that fall below. So if you have that, instead of ghosting the person, just say like, hey, you know, as much it might, you know, it might hurt someone's feelings, but at the end of the day, you were honest. And that's what I feel like a lot of people like. Honesty trumps everything, because if that situation doesn't work out and say we might want to try to date again, at least I know that you were honest. Because that's what happens with guys. They cut you off or like they ghost you and then they try to come back. What the fuck do you want?
That's what I was going to say. They never fully go away. I have had people from years ago.
Yes, like
they will come back.
Where did you come from? Like, you were not even on my mind at all.
At all.
Or like,
I'll be like, who is
like,
this?
No.
I don't save numbers in the first place, so I really don't know who you are. The guy that I just mentioned, I saved his number after the 3rd date, and I deleted it again by the 4th date. Because I have such little patience, like, and so I saw on Instagram, a friend of mine posted, like, asking her followers, have you ever been ghosted or ghosted someone? And I saw that one person wrote, yeah, I have, because sometimes they don't understand that you want to cut it off. And there are definitely times, I'm trying to think if I've experienced this. I don't think I have. I don't think I've experienced this where I or someone else tries to cut the other off. Like, hey, this really isn't going to work out, or like, I don't really think. And the other person just like doesn't get it. Have you ever like heard of that?
I mean, I have, but there's this thing called block. That I.
But what have you like been dating?
I mean, at the end of the day, I think that like dating is just a game. Like, at some point, this is bad, like to say, but I think that when you date someone for too long, like, it's bound to come to an end in some way, and people know.
Damn.
Like,
everyone?
Not everyone, but
you mean like if you're not in a relationship?
Yes, like I'm not gonna date you forever, or like, or you're giving somebody those relationship benefits. Relationship.
That's a whole other combo.
Up, and you're like, oh shit, I'm doing relationship stuff for this person, and we're not even in a relationship, you know. And then when you approach them about it, like, why aren't we together or whatever, and they're like, oh, I'm not ready for a committed relationship. Okay, I cut you off. You know what I mean? Because obviously,
been there.
You're 31. I'm 30. We're trying to move towards marriage. I'm not going to be a little puppet, you know, anymore.
That's hilarious.
It's like they don't get it. They're like, well, we're good the way we are, or like,
no, we're not
working out. Yeah, for you, because you're reaping the benefits.
Right. It's definitely a game, because you have to, like, I naturally if I'm dating somebody, like I don't want to have restrictions. Like I want to do for you, you know?
Yeah, me too.
And nowadays, you can't do shit. You can't do shit too soon, or you can't do too much. And that goes both ways. Like there may be men who want to spoil their girlfriend, for example, and they've been dating this woman for like a couple months and they really see it moving toward a relationship, and her birthday comes up and he might want to take her on a trip. If he takes the wrong one on a trip, it's over. It's over. He is about to be used OD. Like now, from now on, he's the trip guy. He's the trip guy.
Exactly. I don't want to go here. Go there. I want to go there. I want to go here. Same thing with like taking a girl out to a nice restaurant. Like your first date.
Yeah.
I tell my homeboy this all the time. Like I have a homeboy who I feel like has money. And every girl he dates, he wants to take to these fancy places. That's cool, but maybe not for the first 1 or 2 dates. Like maybe you don't need $300 at dinner on the first date, because then
$300.
This person, like all they're gonna see is money size. And
how does he meet women? Does he meet women online?
Online, out. Like he likes to go out, so Instagram. You know, but at the end of the day, it's like, this is Atlanta. So a lot of people who are not from here think, oh my God, everybody that lives in Atlanta has money, or every black person has money, especially men, you know. You know, you wear a designer shirt, oh my God, it's like, oh, you got a designer. Okay. So then you take this girl out $300 dinner, and then you wonder why she won't commit to you, or she's always telling you she's hungry. Or like, you know, and it's like, damn, this girl just wants my money. Well, make
pretty much
your money.
Pretty much. And then you know what? And then, because you know, I'll admit it, I've been this one. And then when he starts wising up, and you see he's not going to do what you want, that's when I'm a ghost you.
Exactly.
Because I wanted what I wanted.
Like,
and
stranger. Hey, stranger. Like, nah, no.
Pretty much. Now, disclaimer, this was 20s, Amy. And I'm not talking about 2 years ago. I was a little younger. But, you know, like, don't show me what you can do for me. And then, you know, I don't want to be your girlfriend. But I still want the stuff. So now I got to cut you off. Because you're pissing me off.
Right, because you buttered me up, right? You leaned me in with all these gifts and fancy whatever. Not to say that we can't buy our own stuff, but I mean, it's nice to pay for it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, I have another...
I like a helping hand.
But at the end of the day, I like getting stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. It's rough. It's rough. So... have you ever ghosted somebody?
I don't think I've officially ghosted some. I have like just stopped like text all these people because I get annoyed very quickly and I just don't want to talk to you anymore. But I think that's also a mutual thing. Like people can feel that there's sin is not there anymore. So really, they stopped hitting me up as well. Now, last summer, I was talking to this dude, and he was very nice. He was cool. He sent me strawberries during quarantine. But I just felt like he was a sucker for love. And
wait, what was the first letter of his name?
I honestly forgot.
Because I'm trying to remember. I'm sure you told me about this. I'm trying to remember who you're talking about.
What was that boy's name?
Quarantine doesn't count.
No, but he helped me get through the quarantine. Okay.
Okay. I had one of those too. Okay. Look, it is what it is.
But I mean, like he would send me stuff, and like I would enjoy it, and we would hang out, and he was cool. But I did not foresee myself being in a relationship with him. And I damn sure didn't see myself marrying him. Like, it was nice while it lasted. He was nice, don't get me wrong. Till this day, I still think he's a nice person. But because he was so nice, it was like I couldn't tell him that.
Ooh,
So
damn.
responding to him, I stopped answering his calls, or I would like text one time after he texts like 10 times, to the point where it was like he would text me so much, like with no response, that I just blocked him, because
He needed to get a clue.
I just feel like if you can only say good morning, good night, have a nice day so many
Oh,
without a
God.
response from somebody. Like, why do you keep hitting me up and I'm not responding
And
to you?
you know what, though? I was telling my friend this a while ago. I want a man to make it clear that he's interested in me, but I also don't want him to act like he can't do without me. Like, if I was in your shoes and I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to ghost him, like, I don't really foresee it going anywhere, and he kept writing me over and over and over and over, I would just think like, well, shit, I made the right decision, because clearly you're a loser.
Yeah, that's
like you don't have any pride.
Like, why are you such a just stop texting me?
If I were in your shoes and that were me, I would just be like, great, because now I really don't want
like, oh my God,
I really
I'm so
don't
glad
want
you never came to my house, even though he did have my address, because obviously
right.
stuff, but like, I'm very glad you didn't come to my house, because you give me crazy vibes now that I don't talk to you anymore. But it's like, people, like I said, people can fall for conversation. Like, more than anything, we talk on the phone, we FaceTime. But other than that, like, I never did anything with him. It was just,
it's sad.
I was like, you're doing.
It's very sad. I had a little, you know how you said that ghosting can be like kind of mutual? I feel like I had that situation last summer. Like, I had my little quarantine boo too, you know, and we met on Hinge as well. And come to find out, he lives a couple blocks from me. So, you know, we hit it off like that. Like, when I say hit it off, it was worse than my friend with these long conversations. He and I would have like 5-hour FaceTime, 7-hour FaceTimes, because, you know, everybody's working from home. We can't go anywhere. Literally everything was shut down. Like, the only things open were the grocery store. Like, that was it. And so, and I think like the pharmacy. I don't know. So he and I like hit it off, connected very, very quickly. And we moved so fast that it was like locked in. Like, I was seeing that man like 5-6 times a week because he lived right there. And we had a couple of, I'll say, hiccups throughout the time we dated. Hiccups. That's the way to put it.
Hiccups.
Yeah, I didn't, because they were fucking mess. Big hiccups. Okay. And it got to the point where I could feel like the vibe was off after these hiccups. I'm sure he knew the vibe was off after these hiccups, that I don't know if we mutually ghosted each other. He ghosted me, whatever. But I was with him one night. I spent the night over there. He was sick, so we didn't like do anything. The next day, he walked me home with his dog. We grabbed my dog. We took the dogs on a long walk. You know, we hugged bye. And we never spoke again. Honestly, like, that's like the craziest thing. And like, that's actually the second time that happened to me. A couple of years ago, or maybe like a few years ago, I was dating this guy, dating him heavily too. Like maybe a couple times a week. I was still living at home at this point. He was living at home too. And, you know, New York problems. And we were dating really heavily. We kind of got into like a little verbal, or like a text little like back and forth, right? And shit was kind of off after that, but we were okay. And we had like a conversation like on a Friday night. I don't even know what it was about. Never spoke. Like, after that, didn't speak until like 5 months later. I was at a day party with my friends in Brooklyn. We see him. My friend, who I will not name, said, "Oh my God, is he homeless?" She had never met him before, and he was looking a little rough. But Girl, I was like, girl, long story short, he was on my phone after that, asking me out, trying to see me. I was like, who is this? Because like I said, I don't save numbers. So they usually come back around. I will say the quarantine guy, though, I haven't spoken to him. And that was like a cut and dry thing. But this most recent guy, I would not be surprised if he contacts me in the next week or two. You know how it goes.
They come back around,
but
and it's usually like some bull crap apology.
Yeah.
It's not even an apology. They just want to, what you've been doing.
Right.
Or
right. They just want to check in, see if they can still talk to you.
You don't have those benefits anymore. Who is this?
You really don't. Pretty much, who is this? At this point, like, if I, honestly, and this is really me, and you know this, if I don't talk to you for like 3 days, I'm over it. I'm over it.
I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to die.
I'm not into you anymore. You got about 3 days for the bullshit. And then I'm over it. But yeah. So, what's the moral of the ghosting stories?
The moral is, from my point of view, it's never going anywhere.
Damn, you think ghosting is here to stay?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the easy way out.
It is. People are so weak nowadays.
I mean, didn't you tell me about somebody that left their freaking wife standing at the altar? Or like something like that?
Oh my God. That show called Ghosted. There's a show called Ghosted, Love Gone Missing. And it's hosted by Rachel, the Black Bachelorette, and some guy named Travis. I don't know who he is. But they have the show. There was a couple on there who got, there was a fiance, a man and his fiance. He left his fiance. He ghosted his fiance. Ghosted his fiance. And then when they got to the fiance was like, I realized I had feelings for my ex still, so sorry. What the fuck?
He deserves ass whooping. I would probably beat your ass.
Like, and I feel like I told you about another fiance ghosting someone the other day. Did I tell you about that?
I don't know. I just remember the show.
It's just like, oh, no. I heard it on this other podcast I was listening to. I think I might have told you about it. This woman wrote into this podcast and she said, I am / was engaged. I've been with my fiance for 7 years. We've been engaged for 3 years, but I say was / am because I haven't spoken to him since February. We have a wedding date set. This was like a couple months ago. The wedding date was set for May. He blocked her on everything, ghosted her. And the man on the podcast, the host was like, you know what you need to do? You need to get your brothers and cousins to run up on him. And I agree. You know where that man lives.
You know his ex.
You know where he lives,
what kind of car he drives. I mean, after 7 years,
he needs his ass beat.
Honestly, after a year, you know pretty much everything you need to know about somebody.
I just couldn't believe. I was like, so your fiance, and I just feel like, a lot of people will be like, oh, that's hubby, that's wifey, that's my fiance, but they're not really. I mean, come on. But y'all have like a venue and the vendors have been paid and you have a wedding date. Like, I could not believe that. Like, and I'm like you, like I give people the benefit of the doubt, but a friend of mine is like, I don't put anything past anyone. And now it's like, if your fiance can ghost you before the wedding, anything is possible. Anything is possible. My God. It's so depressing. But yeah.
I feel like it had to be some signs there. Like,
I mean, only she knows.
Obviously, but you just stop talking to me. We don't plan the whole way. Why would you waste money like that?
Why would you propose to me?
Also, why? We probably notify people, like, sent to save the
absolutely.
Something like.
It was like a month before the wedding date that they read this letter. So I can't.
I also wonder, like, situations like that. What does your family say?
My family needs to say, let's go beat his ass.
No, I'm saying of the person who does the ghosting, like.
Oh, right, like his family. Like,
what
do you say to them? When they say,
what happened? Is there a wedding? Like, what the heck?
Right. He probably made up a lie. He probably said something like, she cheated on me. I can't tolerate that when really he's the bad guy. It's so sad. Because, you know, you always try to put yourself in the best light for your family and your friends.
You don't want to be looked at as a whatever. Instead of just being
right. That's wild. That's wild.
How about that?
But yeah. So this week, guys, we have our first listener letter. Woo, woo, woo.
Okay.
So, do you have it pulled up?
I do.
So neither one of us has taken a look at this letter.
Yep.
So
I'm literally about to open it now.
Fresh advice.
Okay. And I will read it to you all. I'm going to read it just as it is.
Is the person anonymous?
The person is anonymous. They don't want to be revealed, which is perfectly fine. Okay. Having sex with the guy you're seeing after 2 weeks too soon. I've been dating a guy about 2 weeks now. We have incredible chemistry, great conversation, and we see each other about 4 to 5 times a week, so things seem to be moving very fast. He has not tried to advance me and has stated that he's okay not rushing things. He wants to build a solid foundation first. Thanks. But I really want to. So how soon is too soon? Is that even such a thing at this point in life? I'm 30. It feels like we should be able to do what we want. We are just as sexual as men, but it's nice to keep the anticipation and keep them wanting more. So how soon is too soon when trying to build something real and true?
Okay. Do you want to answer first or should I go?
So my answer is, from a woman's perspective, if he wants to wait, respect that. Because you don't get that in a lot of men. And I feel like that's meaningful. And I feel like maybe because it's only been 2 weeks, he hasn't been able to express to you why he's chose that decision. Because he might have been previously a whore, you know, walking.
He probably was.
Or, you know, and he might be thinking, like, similar to me, like, I'm 30, I'm trying to build something with somebody. And I need to get to know you outside of sex. And so if we can have a connection without that, then sex only makes that better once we do experience that. Now, to answer your question, how soon is too soon? I don't think there is a real answer for that. Like, you can sleep with somebody on the first night and, you know, marry them. You could sleep with someone 3 months from now and then never talk to them again after that. So I just think that it's individualized for each relationship. But in this scenario, I think that even though you want to do it, he probably looks good to you, you're enjoying spending time with him, you say you were with him 4 to 5 times a week, I think you should respect that he is okay not rushing into things and let him as the man pursue you.
I agree with you. I pretty much agree with everything you said. I don't think there's a time that's too soon. You know, like you said, you could sleep with somebody on date 1 and end up married. You could sleep with somebody on date 10, be engaged, and he ghosts you after 7 years. So it could really go either way. I'm more of like a risk averse person, especially actually, they say that lawyers are risk averse in general, but I'm definitely risk averse in person. So if I want something to go far with you, I'm not sleeping with you in a couple weeks. I'm not sleeping with you in a month. I'm probably not sleeping with you in 2 months, honestly. Because just like this man said, I want to be able to, or I don't know if he said it or the writer said it, but I want to be able to build something. Like, we're at that age, and I don't care how mature somebody says they are. I feel like a man is a man, and if you make it too easy,
it's over.
It's easy.
And
it's easy.
You don't want
it's
to become just that.
Like, you don't. And I feel like
full disclosure, you know what I mean? I've had situations where it's like, I might have liked somebody and then you do something with them, and then after that, that's all that it is. Like, the getting to know you is out the door, the dating is out the door, everything that you wanted initially is gone because that has now become the main
focus
of everything. So it's like 2 weeks, and he's saying he wants to build a foundation. See how long, it takes for him to try something with you. I know it might be hard, because everybody has their needs, but at the end of the day, like you said, she said, at this point in my life, I'm 30. So 30, you want to build something with someone. So if he's trying to do that, let him.
Yeah. I don't necessarily think this is the case here, but I also do know that people will tell you what you want to hear until they get what they want from you. I don't necessarily get that vibe from him or from the letter.
Yeah.
But, people will say great things like, no, let's wait. I want to build a foundation with you. I see this going far, blah, blah. And then you sleep with them. And then it's like, where the hell did you go?
And
what happened to my 5 dates a week?
Foundation,
right. Where's the foundation? The foundation done crumbled. Okay. So my advice is do what makes you both comfortable. It seems like he may physically want to, take the step, but mentality is he wants to pace himself out. And it sounds like it's the same for you. You physically want to get it popping, but your mentality is let's just take it slow. So my advice would be to take it slow.
Yeah. And I don't think
I can't say a specific time, but pace yourself.
Yeah, and I don't think it's wrong to have an open, we're grown at this point. Sex used to be don't talk about it. But I think as adults, it's okay to have that open sexual conversation with somebody. Let them know that you're desiring them in this way so that they can, maybe tell you, I'm desiring you too, but at the end of the day, I think we need to hold off because maybe previously I didn't hold off and look where I am.
Right.
Single.
So Exactly. That could definitely be, a real concern for a lot of people. So, yeah, I say just pace yourself. And also, I guess this is kind of an aside, but if you feel like if you're in the house with him often, you're going to be more likely to sleep with him, maybe don't spend so much time in the house. Like if you're having more outside dates, you're not going to sleep with him. Well, you might. I was going to say, you're not going to sleep with him at the restaurant or in the park, but side note. I went out this weekend and I had to pee so badly when I got to this place. They had one stall, unisex, and there was a line to use the bathroom. There were 2 guys in front of me. When I got there, I kid you not, I was in that line for about 15 minutes and I'm like, damn, is somebody pooping in there? Girl, a guy and a girl came out and I just looked at them like,
really?
Now y'all know damn well it's a line out here.
Come on now.
Y'all know it's a line out here. So I say all that to say, you might sleep with them in the restaurant. or you never know. You never know. But if you feel like less self-control when you're in the house, maybe spend some time outside. It's summer, time to be outside. No excuse. It's not winter. Now, if it was winter, I'd be like, he might be getting the drugs.
I mean, oh my God.
Look, okay. Just kidding. I mean, hey, I'm not. I'm not. Look, winter and quarantine, man, they were effectively the same thing. Okay? Ain't nobody going outside.
I kind of miss being quarantined, honestly, but
I kind of do too.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was good. I didn't have really much worry.
It was nice. Aside from the pandemic, but aside from the pandemic, it was pretty chill.
Full throttle, ATL wide open.
Oh yeah, girl. Woof. And yeah, I'll be down there in a couple months for Brianna's 31st. 30 wonderful.
We're going to do 31 podcast.
We are. And we'll be sure to tell you guys all about it. The PG stuff. Maybe the PG-13 stuff.
I need some PG-13 in my life. Just kidding.
I need some X. Let me stop. I talk a lot of shit, but you know what I'm about to do after this? Watch 90 Day Fiancé and eat a salad. So, wild and crazy.
What I'm going to eat for dinner.
Yeah, it's getting late. It's time to eat.
Mm.
But yeah, so anything else for tonight's episode?
Nope.
Okay. Well, guys, reminder, our inbox is always open for listener letters. I love listener letters. We love to give advice. So send your letters to heygirlhey.pc, as in podcast, at gmail.com. And we will answer any type of letter. Any topic you ask, we got y'all.
And we're not going to reveal no names.
Definitely not. Unless you want us to. But other than that, we'll keep it anonymous. You can trust us.
And follow us on Instagram. Same thing as email. heygirlhey.pc. And yeah, we'll see y'all soon.
Later. Bye, guys. Oh, bye, girl. Bye. I don't know if I'm going to keep doing that. It sounds kind of corny. But okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.